So today I want to do something different. After being all headphoned out and getting exhausted from high in Munich, I want to do something that actually does not involve your favorite wizard spaceman. I'm going to do a little show and tell of all the different drivers I've picked up over the years, from faulty headphones and collecting spare parts, or just absolutely thrashed headphones that I thought I could salvage parts from. Anyway, let's get started. This is from probably an AKG K140 or 160. They look very similar to the 141 and 240 sextet drivers. No idea what that's from. Definitely, or most likely, some kind of Japanese vintage. Paper cone. These are almost certainly from some Philips headphones from the 80s or early 90s. Not very interesting. This doesn't look very interesting, but it's actually from the Biodynamic DT330. I just drew the X there because it's a dead driver. Absolutely no life in that one. These are from... what is this one from? Probably a Universum headphone. Very interesting dome there. Tiny little dome. DR780. I'll look up that one and see which headphone that one's from. It looks interesting. These, another extra large headphone driver. An enormous magnet. So that's just some oxidation there. So these are from Japan, and this one definitely came out of a red Universum headphone, but I've seen them in others. And as far as I know, they were also used in... let me just check the name of the guy. Yeah, these were also used by, apparently, Peter W. Belt. He's somewhat infamous or famous for his electrostatic headphones, but he also dabbled with other drivers. These are just the rear vent caps from Biodynamic studio monitor drivers. I've got a set of DT790s. Missing these. Adds a nice bit of bass. This is from a DT770 250 ohm, I believe. Yeah, this one's just trashed and covered in hair. The Biodynamic dopes the surface of their drivers with some sticky substance, so this problem happens very often with hair. Not a fan of that. What is this? Probably something from this pile. Probably another... no, this one is from another Philips, a super cheap one, the cheapest one they make. I'll throw up a picture of that. Here is a Sennheiser. I do not know which one it is from, but these are fairly common in the cheaper models. Maybe it was from a headset. This one, no idea. Some cheap junk. That's a microphone. A dead one. This one, I believe, is from a Sony earbud. But, yeah, that doesn't tell you much. And, oh, what is that? Maybe another Sony? Yeah, I've had a few dead Sonys in the past. These have very strong magnets. Oh, jeez. Okay. What is this one from? I think these are just junk, no-name, i.e. in-ear monitor drivers. Yeah, nothing special about these. That's trash. That's nothing. Whoop. That's gone forever. This is the most interesting one in this box, probably. It's a dead Sawa Fuji or SFI planar driver. So originally it would have been sandwiched together like that, but it was reading infinite resistance or something like 9,000 ohms or something. So I opened it up carefully to see if I could fix it, but alas, the magnet was completely smashed in two, which happens sometimes, unfortunately. Just put some blue tack in there to stop it flying around. Yeah, because that just wants to repel from the other half. And between the magnet, there is a card, very thin paper or card spacer. So that goes on top of the magnet. Then after the spacer comes, what would you even call this? It's the contact point. Then getting some tweezers for this part. I don't think that's connected to anything. No. That's the diaphragm. Focus. Can you focus, please, on the diaphragm? Is that too close? No, that's okay. I don't know if you can see it, but if you look very closely in the right light, there's actually an embossed pattern on this to make it more rigid, which I thought was quite interesting. So they were already thinking about making these diaphragms more rigid back in the days. And then again, the same reversed, another contact point, spacer, magnet. All right, let's move that to one side. Next, the huge junk box. This is mostly collected from lots of broken headsets. These are from Sharkoon Rush headsets. They are actually quite good. These are from the cheap OEM Fostex lookalikes. I think they're basically the same driver. Both decent, decent drivers, but in terrible headphones. No idea what that is. Probably a Sharkoon. Not a Sharkoon. Doesn't matter. Just junk headsets, really. Oh, that one I think is from a Razer. Very similar to the others, but more vent holes. Again, these are just cheap Chinese off-the-shelf drivers. Nothing particularly special about them. And that's from a Sennheiser headset. So a little bit different. Overall, nothing special in there to show off. But one day I hope to use those for some weird experiments. In here I have some Philips SBC HP 890 drivers. Let's take a look at those. They are very peaky, so I took them out and replaced them with something else. I don't remember what, but these had a huge peak around 7 or 8 kilohertz. And yeah, that's what they look like. And I don't remember if it was this one or the other one, but when I got this headphone, one of the magnets had fallen right out. It was sold as faulty, but the magnet I just popped it back in, and it was working again. Kind of funny, but it wasn't working properly, though. I think after some measurements, there was some distortion present after popping the magnet back in, so not very useful as spares either. 50mm blonde. So these are some blonde beryllium drivers. Don't breathe these in. No, it should be fine. There are some health concerns about the use of beryllium in drivers, but as long as it's not in vapor or liquid form, it should be safe enough. Shiny. I haven't found a decent headphone to put these in yet. There's, I think maybe this tuning cap. If I could take it off, maybe then I could tune it differently and find a suitable headphone for it. Maybe one day. But definitely capable and worth putting into something at some point. I have a set of Audio Technica ATH909 drivers lying around. From an absolutely thrashed headphone, so I kept the drivers from those. Yeah, they don't look too special, but they sound alright. I actually reviewed, I think I reviewed one of these earlier in the channel last year. What else do we have here? These are actually very interesting drivers. So this is with the grill still on, and there's a little rubber gasket. This is with it taken off. It's probably floating around here somewhere. These are from the Magnat, German brand, LZR 980. They can also be found in this 780, I think it's called. So these are interesting because while they look from the rear like any, quite similar to any generic 40mm driver from China, for example, they're a bit different. The damping is on the inside, for one thing, and there's also a sponge underneath the dome, some foam sponge. So directly, well, it's not even, I didn't notice that before. Yeah, many of these have a hole in the back of the magnet. These don't. Just for comparison, no hole in the back of these. Yeah, it looks like they spent a lot more time tuning these. Apparently they used some kind of laser analysis system to get these tuned correctly. So they added this, well, I guess that's vapor deposition metal ring of a very specific size to get it tuned very accurately to their specification. And inside, and the LZR980 actually sounds fabulous. These drivers have really, really good bass. I'm quite happy with these drivers, and I have put them in other headphones, but so far not with great success. Only medium success. But still holding on to them because they sound good. Oh yeah, at one point I put them in some Lasmex headphones. I'll throw up a picture of those. These drivers, again, very similar to the other generic drivers. 2 holes instead of 4. Looks almost the same, slightly bigger voice coil, but they sound these sounded terrible. They didn't measure well in the headphone, so I took those out. Now those Lasmex headphones have Bose drivers inside, and the tuning is now almost perfect. So very happy with that upgrade. What is this? DT. This is the counterpart DT330 driver. This is the working one, so it's in the working box, not the trash box. And there are many layers. I've got layers going on here. Underneath the cardboard, there's 2 more layers of mostly these drivers, so I'm not going to bother digging down there. And finally, let's move on to the little bag. What have we got here? That's just cardboard. So these are, well, these are both different, aren't they? Yeah, just the cheap drivers from Sharkoon headset. More beryllium drivers from Blon. Just keeping those safe differently. Okay, I thought it would be a bit more interesting. Alright, actually I wanted to show you another set of drivers, so I'll dig into my bin here quickly. Alright. Yeah, this is just a project I've got going on. Modified DT990 frame with these peerless paper dome drivers. So 50mm. This is the same driver that is used in the DMS Project Omega, the Keneton Valley, I think it's called, and the Aurora Borealis. So a very popular driver. You can very easily make your own version of them. Yeah, I mean, anyone who's familiar with those headphones probably doesn't need to see this driver again. Anyway, that's just one project I've got going on. I have a finished version. Got a finished version here somewhere. Here's the finished version. Yeah, so same idea, modified DT housing, this time with a mesh, and I'll throw up a graph of that. It's pretty decent. Very similar results to the Borealis and what everyone else is getting. And the great thing about those headphones is that you can, well, those drivers and those headphones is, well, the whole concept of creating your own headphone is that you can tune it however you want. Okay, let's go off the grid. And show something a bit different. Alright, so now we're going to have a look at the wall where I've framed a bunch of drivers. These are the more interesting ones, actually. So that's from a Wharfdale ID2 planar headphone, an absolute trash headphone. with a mid driver. There's the Peter belt driver again. Not sure what that is. Generic stuff. Okay, here's a COS. I don't know exactly which one it's from, but it's toast. And that's the Echo TDS-15 clearly with a puncture. We saw that earlier in the Space Wizard box. That is from one of those. I'll just throw a picture up. That's from a Sony DR6, I believe. DRZ6. Some more biodynamics, all toast. That is from a headset. I'll throw up a picture. Grado SR80, I believe. Also toast. Sony, I'll throw up the picture. A working Sawafuji driver, the counterpart. So I've got one lying around, might as well frame it. Some generic 50mm drivers. I believe one is from a JVC, forgot the name, RX700 or something. Don't know what that is. No idea. Maybe those Philips drivers. 30mm? No idea what that is. A Sennheiser. Oh, another Sennheiser. This one's from probably an HD 450 or something very similar to that. Generic one. Oh, this one is the red AKGs are the K241s. I think that might be the only place to find those. No idea. Some generic trash. This is from a Grundig headphone. I'm not sure which one, but I'll throw up a picture. Well, I do know which one. I just don't know the model number off the top of my head. Another AKG. No idea. That is from an AKG K271 Mark II, I think. Or possibly a Superlux clone. I don't remember. Maybe Superlux. Probably a Vido driver from Vido earbuds. No idea. Some trash, and some more trash. I think that's one of these. I think it could be from a Sennheiser in-ear monitor or earbud. But yeah, anyway, that's fun. Thought you might like to see that. And to end this video, let's look at the most interesting stuff I've got lying around. Here are some Stax drivers of various models, likely SR3s, 5s, X's. Don't know which one's which, just by looking at them. They're also similar. This one's got the dust screen has fallen off. It also needs repairing with some film. Anyway, better keep that covered up. Don't want any dust getting inside there, so keep that upside down. Yeah, some of them just have bare contacts, while others have resistors. I'm sure the Stax experts out there will know the difference. Then there's a SR Lambda Pro driver. Yeah. So I would keep it the other way around to make sure dust doesn't get in there, but generally speaking, you'd keep them in a box anyway to make sure no dust gets in contact with those. And finally, ribbon speakers. These are from the Synaptic SE1 ribbon speakers. So if we can see them move, we can see them move if we blow into it gently. Yeah, so very sensitive to air movement. And in case you didn't know, they have magnets inside. Yeah, so Synaptic made these dual, I think they were the world's first dual array ribbon headphones. And recently RAL came out with their triple array headphone. So, curious to see what this company comes out with in the future. Anyway, that's all for now. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.